All right, everyone, welcome back into another PGA DFS video. My name's Eric Palzi with 9 to 5 Sports. Going to be getting to the Corrales Championship here. I know I put it in the comment section of the main video for the Dell Match Play video. A lot of people want this video, so I'm getting it out to you guys. With that being said, a little bit shorter week with time and whatnot. I'm not going to have the graphic greatness that I typically would in a video, but still going to touch on all the same stuff here for you guys. But going to be a little bit different format, going to be a quicker format for you guys as well. So I'm pretty much just going to get right into the top picks because, well, for a matter of fact, this is a tournament in which we don't exactly have the key stat data that we would like because, well, they don't have the shot link data over there. Okay, so, we can kind of get an idea of what to expect because, they do measure, GUR, fairways hit, putt percentage and whatnot. So we can kind of get a good idea of what to expect, but we have had success at this tournament in the past. It was actually home to the first 9 to 5 Nation takedown about 4 years ago now. But, we can kind of see just based off of the previous results at this tournament that we've been on the right stats. Really what you're trying to look for at this tournament is just golfers that are playing good enough golf pretty much. So, yeah, we'll look at the normal predictive stats like strokes gained total, strokes gained to the green, strokes gained differential, birdie to bogey ratio, ball striking, total driving. Those are going to be kind of the general stats that you want to look at this week because that will tell you who has been playing the best, especially on the PGA Tour. And it gets pretty ugly pretty quick in these events, like stat fit wise and whatnot. I guess a perfect example here would be you look at someone like, I don't know, Mark Hubbard here. Or Joel Damon here. Some of his key stats that we're pulling in here are not pretty, but he's the third best stat fit in the field. And that's kind of what you have to expect. And then one other thing that I want to point out strategy-wise here is that the strategy here is no one is going to be checking all the boxes. Really, besides Joel Damon there, no one is going to be checking all the boxes. And for those of you that don't know, checking all the boxes is kind of the most predictive way to look at a made cut and a good finish. So if someone is, has a really good stat fit, he's a really good in course history rank and really good recent form, that means they're checking all the boxes. And typically it's like my 3 rules of 30. Top 30 stat fit, top 30 course history rank, and top 30 recent form rank. With the recent form and course history, I like to see at least a top 30 finish as well. So that's something you kind of can use here, but looking at it, like a lot of the golfers here are checking like 1.5 boxes. Okay, so one thing I like to look at in these alternative field events is I like to look at golfers that have been playing good enough that, might have missed the cut on the number or just by a little bit. I want to look at golfers that have been playing good enough golf. Okay, and that's kind of how I ended up on Ryan Brehm a few weeks ago at the Puerto Rico Open because, well, he had good starts on the Korn Ferry Tour. His starts on the PGA Tour were good enough as well. And that's kind of what you're looking for here because, all in all, if a golfer, missed the cut by 1, a shot under par on the PGA Tour, it should be a little bit easier for them to play well at a tournament like this that's bringing in a lot of other players like on the DP Tour, on the Korn Ferry Tour and whatnot. Okay, so you kind of get the breakdown here. And just course-wise, this is a beautiful course, but this is a course that has been subject to winds, heavy winds. Okay, that can affect how the tournament is going to play. Okay, it could make the scoring harder, or if it's not breezy, it's going to be an easy course. It is a little bit of a longer track, 7,600 yards. So, but yeah, that's pretty good for the course preview here. All in all, like the good players are going to play well, pretty much is the summary of it. You can really trim down your player pool pretty well and, typically have a good week. So let's start off here. We're going to get it started with Jonathan Vega. So Jonathan Vegas, yes, he did miss the cut here 2 years ago, but made the cut last year, finishing 18th and then 26th the year before that. We like that from him. Really strong stat fit, second best stat fit in the field, 7th best pick in the 9 to 5 model. I guess he's getting punished a little bit because of his miscut at the Players Championship where he shot 68 on the first round and then like 78 on the second round. That's kind of what happened with some golfers at the Players Championship. So I think we can, take that with a grain of salt. So, pretty good recent form, especially for, someone like Jonathan Vegas. And he's not priced up too high. Sometimes the top player on DraftKings will be priced up like 11K. It's because it is a little bit risky that he's not priced up that high. Now, I will say someone like Joel Damon, to me, does make sense to make him a core play. Joel Damon has, been playing pretty good golf recently, and we do like that, but it's his course history that we like the most with Joel Damon. So pull that up here for you guys. So Joel Damon, he's made 5 straight cuts in a row. We love that. Top 10 finish mixed in there at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. If you want to use that as a comp course-ish, you can. It's a Pro-Am, so I really wouldn't, just because it's a whole different nature at the event like that. But, pretty solid golf as a whole. 25 starts for the past year, only 4 missed cuts. We like that from him. The problem has been his upside. His upside has not been there. He has an average finish of 47. That's not good. He's been making cuts, but not playing that well. What we do like is that he has dominated at this course. Okay, defending champ. Yeah, you sometimes worry about that. Obviously, Sam Burns was able to defend his title last week as a top 10 player in the 9 to 5 miles. So, when a golfer is checking all the boxes and there's no other clear-cut plays in their price point range, that's fine. And then a 12th and a 13th place finish there for Joel Damon. So really liked how well he's been playing at this course. 5 straight make cuts in a row, pretty good stat fit. He's going to be someone that I don't think I can pass up on this week. All right, so now we're going to get into Mark Hubbard. So Mark Hubbard, I don't love, but he is someone that should do well this week as well. If we were to look at his starts on the Korn Ferry Tour, he's kind of been dominating there, but he still made 3 straight cuts in a row on the PGA Tour, finishing 38th, 15th, and 33rd. We like that from him. He did play okay at the Puerto Rico Open. Would have liked a little bit better of a finish, but I do expect him to make the cut. And going back to the theme of golfers that are good stat fits this week that really are not the best stat fits. Like, his best stat is effective scoring, that 9 to 5 only stat. That's like the predictive stat of a made cut, pretty much 54th in that, which, that's all right, but still top 8 stat fit. That's kind of crazy to me. And then Bryce Garnett. Bryce Garnett is like, I don't really get how to describe it. It's like, it's almost like a player in the NBA that is playing on a bad team, so he goes out and like really does well. But when he is on a good team, then he has to be like a positional player, a role player. He doesn't do as well. Like, he can dominate the competition when it's expected, I guess. No, that's a terrible example. I don't know what I'm trying to get at with this. It's like the MLB player that dominates in AAA, but once he gets up to the major leagues, kind of struggles. He does really, the point I'm trying to get at here with Bryce Garnett is he dominates in these kind of alternate field events. You look at all of them, and he does well. The Mayakoba, the Bermuda, the Puerto Rico Open. He makes cuts there. That is where he's made his living, and that's why he still has his PGA Tour card, is that he plays well at these tournaments, including the Corrales, where he's made 4 straight cuts in a row. 9th last year, 61st the year before that, 39th the year before that, and then a first place finish 4 years ago. So obviously he loves this course. He's made 3 straight cuts in a row on the PGA Tour, which we like. He's ascending. We always like to look for that. So 27th, 50th, and 7th over his last 3 starts on the PGA Tour. Now he's a shitty stat fit. That it is what it is there. Top 30 pick in the 9 to 5 mile. That's a lot due to the fact that not a good stat fit. That's really what it is. Recent form could be better as well, but if we're just looking at that really close recent form with 3 starts, obviously we like that. I'm going to dip down into the mid-tier here. Let's go. So I will say this week for DraftKings, like, the mid-tier is fine. Like, Brian Stewart to me is kind of the same play as Bryce Garnett, where we're expecting a made cut. The thing with him is his recent form is a lot better, but they're kind of the same player. He's made 2 straight cuts in a row at this tournament, 60th, a 33rd, and a missed cut. That's not that good of course history. That really isn't that good. We do worry about that, but his recent form has been there. 16th, miscut, 22nd, 9th. So that upside has been there with him. I'll chase that a little bit. Maybe not someone you want to play in cash or, go hard on in GPPs, but you definitely want some exposure to him. Same thing for someone like Patrick Rodgers. Patrick Rodgers has played really well at this tournament as well. I'm going to pull him up here on the player profile. He's not going to be a core play, but I just want to pull him up there for you guys so you can see some of his recent starts as well. Patrick Rodgers is someone that I feel like people have been trying to force in for, I really don't know which reason, and it hasn't been working out. But if we were to go like further down, he did have like a couple of top 10 finishes. I guess it was prior to this season, and that's why I have this set to. It's this season. So if you were to go back a little bit further, you'd see 2 top 10 finishes in there about, I guess, 6 months ago now. So I guess that's pretty far away now. But still, we can see like his made cuts and miscuts. They've all kind of been right there. They haven't been horrible made cuts if you want to grade missed cuts and made cuts. He has finished decently well at this tournament, 11th, 43rd, and 22nd. I should mention this as well. In the 2020 season, they played this in 2021. They actually played this tournament twice in 2021, once in the fall and then another time at its normal time. So, that might skew course history a little bit still. Players that played at this tournament that played in the fall typically played just as good in the spring. So, I don't mind him. He's fine. If you end up on him, you end up on him. Grayson Sigg. So Grayson Sigg is actually ranking out really well in the 9 to 5 mile. I think it's just mostly due to his course history. He's been playing decent as well on the PGA Tour. Ranks top 15 in recent form rank. I'd like to see another made cut in there. I'd like to see a little bit more consistency out of him, but still not a horrible pick. We can see bad stab fit, still top 15 in the field. That is kind of the nature of the beast this week. Looking at someone like Aaron Rai. Aaron Rai hasn't made a start here. But he is someone that has been playing some good golf. He ranks top 10 in recent form rank. And the thing with him is that on the PGA Tour, on those main events, he's just kind of been finding ways to make the cut. I know a lot of people have been on him as value. And that's kind of the fun thing about this tournament is that someone that you might have been thinking about playing, that he might have been someone that was like right around making your player pool. They're going to make your player pool this week. Aaron Rai has kind of been one of those guys where he's been on the borderline of making my player pool. So will be this next guy that I mentioned. It's going to be David Lipsky in the low tier. So David Lipsky has been someone I've been wanting to roster a decent amount because he always just seems to pop up a little bit here or there. And I just haven't been able to end up on him for, whichever reason. Typically I like to not overextend myself in a certain price point range too much. And that kind of is the reason why I haven't ended up on David Lipsky. But still, 22nd place finish here 3 years ago, 3 straight made cuts in a row. Really like that from him. And he is someone that really has seemed to have been playing well this season, just hasn't exactly been able to put it all together for 2 rounds, 4 rounds. And maybe this is the tournament that he does that at. He does rank out top 13 in the 9.5 miles, someone that I do like this week. And Rafa Cabrera Bello. So RCB, we all know, I shouldn't say we all know, but like 4 years ago, 3 years ago, this guy was a stud. He's kind of lost part of his game. I don't really know what it is, but he has now made 3 out of the last 4 starts on the PGA Tour. That's fine. I'll take that. We are paying up a little bit for name value here, which I don't love, but you can do that. Tyler Duncan. Tyler Duncan, I fully expect to make the cut. I was really shocked at this price point, actually, from Tyler Duncan. We can see he's the top 5 staff in the field. If you were to look at kind of his tournament starts, you'd see that they all have been very solid. When he's missed the cut, he's still shot under par, which is something I kind of like to look at in these alternative field events. We can see his recent form over his past 4 starts: 25th, 35th, missed cut, 49th. I like that, especially down this low in this field. Like, I thought he'd be higher priced than this, so I do like Tyler Duncan a decent amount. He's finished 48th and 59th here. Nick Hardy's not supposed to be in there. That's supposed to be Nick Taylor, so let's pull in Nick Taylor there. All right, so sorry, Nick Hardy. Nick Hardy I could see making the cut, but Nick Taylor, once again, really weird. So you got Nate Lashley priced up in the 10K price point range, which I agree with. Nate Lashley should make the cut. He's not someone that made this video officially, but I'm throwing him out there now. Fine with Nate Lashley. I don't get why Nick Taylor, a guy that won on the PGA Tour like 3 years ago, is kind of taking a step down at this tournament. I kind of mentioned Pebble Beach as a comp course, if you will. Whatever. He won at that tournament. That's why I'm bringing that up. But, a player that has done well slightly in windy conditions. I like Nick Taylor. Sure, he doesn't have the course history here, but he's made 3 straight cuts in a row on the PGA Tour, 70th, 32nd, 16th. He is someone that I fully expect to make the cut, and he is someone that I could easily see winning this event. It's just a strange price point. Sometimes there's weeks in PGA DFS where players are priced up too much where you can't really play them, or they're priced down too much where you just kind of have to play them. It's kind of how it feels about Nick Taylor this week. So I do really like him this week. And then Ben Knowles. So Ben Knowles, his last 2 starts have been good. That's pretty much what it is. So 16th on the PGA Tour. He also had a top 20 finish on the Korn Ferry Tour. Once you get down this low, that you're kind of searching for stuff like that because it gets really bad. Really after that 7.5 price point range. But you can make a decent build. Just kind of going fair and balanced. So now we're going to dip into the value tier. There's one value play that really stood out in the 9 to 5 model. That's due to a very, very small sample size. That is going to be Patrick Flavin. So we've only had him in the database for 2 starts so far, and they've been good finishes for those 2 starts. So the data that we do have, he does rank out as like the best stat fit, 9th for that key stat that we're pulling in. Whatever. That's fine. but he has made 2 out of 3 cuts on the PGA Tour. So 22nd, 17th, that's pretty good. The problem with him is that the stats that we are pulling in, they're from like the Puerto Rico Open. They're from, I think it was the Bermuda Championship. So he has played well at 2 courses that you would use as comp courses, which I do like to see. But it's just kind of like he's not the number 1 pick in the 9 to 5 mile. I mean, he is. He's popping up there. Small sample size. That's what's pulling that in there. But, I would say he's probably still top 20. Still someone that you should end up on in your player pool. I'm fine with him. Rafael Campos. This guy is so interesting because he's another one of those guys like Bryce Garnett where he just tends to play well at tournaments like this, these alternative field events. Now, he finished 2nd here last year. I actually felt bad for him a little bit that he didn't beat out Joel Damon because he had a very aggressive putt that could have won it. I think it would have won him it or maybe forced a playoff. He kind of choked at the end. He is just someone that kind of plays well at these events, so it wouldn't shock me to see him go out and play well here. He had missed 3 straight cuts at this event, but he's a guy from Puerto Rico, plays well in the Puerto Rico Open, plays well at some of those other events that we would look at as well. And then DJ Trahan, kind of the same thing. Guys made 4 straight cuts here in a row at this tournament. You look at some of the other tournaments, the Puerto Rico Open, the Bermuda Championship, the Barracuda Championship, all those tournaments like that. He typically does play well. He typically makes the cut. So it really wouldn't shock me if someone like DJ Trahan goes out and makes the cut as well this week. So that's all I have for you guys. A little bit quicker of a video here. Didn't have to go too long. But I know a lot of you guys wanted me to get this out to you guys, so I got out to you guys. Long week here. So with the Dell Match Play Tournament, you really had to be tedious with your roster construction. Okay, you had to make sure that players weren't overlapping too much. Sure, you could chase like a Final Four finish in cash by maybe going Scotty Scheffler, Billy Horschel, because you thought really strongly that, whoever makes it out of their Sweet 16 bracket, they're going to make it the Final Four. And that was kind of a way to gain an edge on those players that were strategically trying to make builds. You could have done that. Where this week, the Corrales Championship, you really only have about 20 players that are going to be good plays. And sure, other players are going to pop up and whatnot. But if you get 6 for 6 across the cut line here, which you typically can, you're most likely going to get a lot of players that finish top 30. Last year, I do my player pool. It goes core plays, high exposure plays, mid exposure plays. Only 1 missed cut out of that group. It was I had 15 players there, 14 made the cut, and then only 1 other player didn't finish top 30. So the predictability is kind of there for these weeks. You just kind of hope that, like Jonathan Vegas, he could miss the cut, but he could finish top 10. He is kind of a hit or miss nature. A lot of these golfers are golfing in this event for a reason, but it is one that's fun to watch because you see some players that, don't have the name value that are young guns go on and play well. You see some of these vets kind of prove why they're on the PGA Tour and not playing on the Korn Ferry Tour too much, and that's something that I like about this event. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please give me a like, subscribe, and as always, guys, let's keep cashing.